Back with you now from Rogers Arena. Brock Boeser is the Canucks' leading scorer, even having missed 3 games, so he's living up to expectations. Let's get right to it. Your very impressive goal tonight, and the tweet is from Canucks Army, and it's pretty simple. Ask Boeser, how did he do that? That as in the goal. So let's have a look, and you can explain it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Obviously, Bo made a great play there, bumping it back over, and Sven chipped it down low, and I just wanted, I saw that open ice walking out of the corner, and just wanted to get a shot through there.
And again, the quick shot, which is the one of the best parts of your game, and Louis is going to get to that in a sec. But first, here's where you are at this point in your career compared to some other very good players and where they were at the same point. You are more than holding your own.
Yeah.
Only Connor McDavid better after 26 games. So what do you think of your place on this list?
Yeah, it's obviously, if you look at that list, it's you see some pretty good names there and guys that are, top in the league. So, it's obviously an honor to be a part of that. But I know I got to keep improving my game each and every day.
Louis, the shot.
Yeah, Patrick Laine, when he came in, everybody talked about his shot, but not too much less people were talking about your shot coming in as well. And I don't know if you remember, we had a conversation last year about you working on that as a youngster. Just talk a little bit about how that developed, and it's a wicked release you have, how you possess that.
Yeah, just growing up, I grew up in Burnsville, Minnesota, and there's this place across the parking lot from my rink called the Burnsville Training Center. So my Pee Wee coach, he ran the training center, so it was open after school all the time, and he really taught us those snapshots. So we would always, if we had practice at the rink, we'd always have training center after practice for 30 minutes, and so we'd have to walk our gear over there and shoot pucks or stick handle.
Yeah, well, it's worked.
Yeah, it's so far.
Tweet from Sarah Law. What have you learned from the Sedins?
Oh, I've learned a ton. Just what they do on and off the ice in the community.
It's as much about that, isn't it? Conducting yourself off the ice with class.
Just in the community, it's just tremendous what they do for the Canucks for kids, and going to the hospital to see kids, and then their work ethic at the rink is, they're always trying to get better. Even, this summer they're the hardest working guys in the weight room, and they stay after to bike and stay in shape.
Here's a split screen that started making the rounds when you were at North Dakota. Brock Boeser is Prince Charming. Have you any idea who came up with this, and are you flattered by it? I think the second one's even better here.
I think.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
You're a
that
dead
one's
ringer.
the better one. Yeah, the other one was bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the first one I saw was after I got drafted in 2015. And my cousin found it, and he just ran with it and tweeted it out. And
It's great.
It's
the hair
funny.
and the jawline, right?
Yeah.
It's just.
Maybe I should try and act.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We showed it because you are Prince Charming to Bailey Bjorgi, who has Down syndrome, and in March of 16, she messaged you to ask you to be her prom date. She actually messaged you on 2 Instagram accounts that her mother deleted before you got the message. But you persisted, you found her, and you agreed to do it. So then the big day.
Bailey.
Hey.
Hi. You want a hug? Nice to meet you.
So, Brock, beautiful, and you went to so much trouble, far more than most other players would. Why did you do it?
Yeah, well, obviously she messaged me on a few Instagram accounts, and I talked to my roommate about it. I'm like, I think that'd be pretty special for her to have, for me to be a part of her special day. So, I wanted to give her that moment, and luckily one of my buddies I met in the dorm is from Grand Forks and knew her family, so that's how we got in touch. And their family was in Florida, so they actually got earlier flights to come back for the prom.
Yeah, and then the big moment when Bailey became the belle of the ball.
Bailey Bjorgi is voted by Brock Boeser.
Now that's gorgeous, and there's so many messages in there. Inclusion, I guess, is one of them, and you and Bailey remain friends. Before you give us an update on Bailey and Special Olympics, let's have a look at her reaction last season when you sent her a Canuck sweater for her birthday.
Yeah.
What is it? I got nervous. Oh my goodness. What does it say? Nothing on it.
Wow.
Turn it around.
That's priceless.
Yeah,
That's
it's
incredible.
priceless. Just gives you the biggest smile.
How's she doing at Special Olympics? Because I know you follow her there.
Oh yeah, for sure. After the whole prom thing and playing the whole prom thing, I had another year there, so I got to support her at their Special Olympics. Our whole team goes out there, and she was actually the female athlete of the year for the whole Special Olympics in Grand Forks, so that was pretty special. And I got to see her. I went to Grand Forks before this year. I got to see her. We actually had lunch, so that was pretty special too.
Perfect. Your ability, Brock, to focus during personally challenging times has been tested a number of times in your young career. August of 2014, you were in Europe, captaining Team USA at the Ivanhoe Lincoln tournament, and a few of your best buddies, are driving back from a day of cliff diving, I think, at Cannon River, Minnesota, and there is a horrific accident. Ty Alie, baseball star at Burnsville, is killed, and Cole Boeser, who was getting ready to play in the WHL. This is you with Ty, I believe.
Cole.
Pardon me, Cole.
Yep.
Getting ready to play in the USHL, suffered life-changing injuries. What do you remember about getting the news?
Yeah, I actually was in my hotel room, just woke up, and one of my best friends texted me randomly saying, "I love you." I'm like, isn't it like 4 a.m. there?
Yeah.
I was a little confused. I called him right away. I asked what was going on, and he wouldn't tell me because he didn't want to be the person to tell me. So I actually had to call a different friend, and then that friend told me. And then I called my best friend back, and then he told me while he was bawling. So I didn't really know how to take it, honestly. I just kind of went on a walk with Coach because I just couldn't believe it because I wasn't back home. I was over there. I called my mom and dad right away. My mom was going to maybe come out there, but she ended up staying home.
But then the torturous decision for you as to whether you go home to be there with your friends or you stay.
Yeah.
And you made the tough decision to stay.
Yeah, actually, my best friend Ty's parents told me to stay. They said that Ty would want me to stay there, and that's the type of kid he was. He would tell me to stay too. And I told him I'd get a hat trick for them, and I actually got one of the games, so that was pretty special. And I got to go back there after I think another 10 days and then deal with it all.
And in fact, you ended up leading the tournament in scoring. Ty, as we say, was a baseball star with a great future. So I'm wondering, what would he have thought of this? You one hopping
hit the ground or
in the
something?
ceremonial first pitch at Nat Bailey Stadium.
Oh, what would he have thought? He would have been very disappointed in me. I mean, yes. He would have laughed. And we played baseball together since 10 years old, and and I was a pitcher too, which is a sad thing.
And then Troy Stetcher said to you after, man, that was straight dirt.
Yeah, and as a baseball player too, that was one of the most embarrassing things in my life.
Don't worry. Cole Boeser, as I mentioned, was critically injured in the accident, spent 9 months in hospital. The initial diagnosis was he would never walk or talk again. So 1 year after the accident, how inspiring for you was it to see him walk on his own? And we have it here.
Yep. Oh, yeah. When his brother sent me this video, it was a pretty inspiring moment to me. I think I was still in the USHL maybe, but I obviously got some tears in my eyes because, the original diagnosis. And, even now today he's doing great, and he walks every day on his own.
All right, we're going to skip ahead to that special moment in your first NHL game, which conveniently was in Minnesota. Duke and Lori, your parents both there, and Duke got to announce the starting lineup, so let's listen.
And starting on right wing, I can't believe it, Brock Boeser.
And I thought the neatest part of this whole thing was that as you were trying to get onto the ice, Duke says to you, "Hey, Brock, do you know that I was number 6 in high school?"
Yeah. I knew he was number 6 in high school, and he always wanted me to beat that number someday, but when he said that, I was just already so nervous, and obviously that was a special moment, and I had tears in my eyes, and so I was trying to regroup myself when he did that, and we were just about to go out, so I kind of just gave him a pat saying I know and went to get ready. But You know, it's obviously a special number to me, not just for my dad, but obviously Ty was number 6 too.
And then about an hour after he told you that, you scored your first ever NHL goal. Where is the sweater and puck from this goal?
Yeah, the sweater's at home, hanging up, and the puck is also on display with, you know, like my national championship ring and some other special.
Okay,
stuff.
perfect. Last thing, here's how teammates rely on each other. What exactly is it that you and Troy Stetcher are failing to accomplish? There's Troy on the end by, it looks like he's about 12. What are you failing to accomplish here?
Yeah, it was in case a ship was flooding, we had to patch up the holes. And, you know, we thought we would have better chemistry because we went to North Dakota together, but it was very questionable.
He was good at screaming at you.
Yeah, right?
Got to leave it there. Brock Boeser, on whom a fair part of the Canucks' future rests, was our guest on After Hours. Back to wrap things up from Rogers Arena in Vancouver in a moment. Thanks, Brock. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, guys. That was awesome.
Yeah.